All right, here we go. World Cup review. It is match day 8 in the books. We have had quite the day. Matches galore, obviously 4 games. Only the second World Cup review I'm doing. Just kickoff times have not been the kindest to a working person. So we're just going to get into it here. Czechia won. South Africa won. Czechia took the lead 6 minutes in. It felt like it was going to get rolling here. And they just couldn't find the back of the net again. And it would be South Africa scoring on a penalty. Teboho Mokoena converts for South Africa in the 83rd minute. Sees this game end up level. Now, it felt like this was going to be Czechia's game to lose, and obviously they kind of lost it because it ends in a draw. This doesn't really help either team. Kind of just solidifies their spot in that third place spot for now. You look at, your stats for the day. Even though it felt like the Czechs controlled this game, South Africa controlled the possession. 62% to 38%. South Africa had the higher expected goals with 1.38 compared to 1.02. Shots, 17 to 14. And touches in the opponent's box, 20 to 16. I don't know what to think of this Czech team because they just truly don't. I expected a lot more out of them. I didn't see much from South Africa in the game against Mexico that made me believe that they could get a result today. Obviously they do. So I guess that's all that matters. They both get a result. Obviously in the table right now that still has them sitting 3rd and 4th. Czech are in front of South Africa on goal differential. That is -1 to -2, the goal differential right now. In their next games, it will be Mexico taking on Czechia and South Korea taking on South Africa. Will be interesting to watch those dynamics there. Of course, we'll preview those a lot longer down the line because we can't preview them today. We got a lot more football to go here. Again, I was kind of surprised at this result, just given South Africa looked awful in the first game, and in addition to that, they had 2 red cards. So down 2 players here. Ends up working out for them. They get the draw here, even though I still don't think they played their best game. For the Czechs, honestly, it's just a disappointing tournament from them. I expected to see a lot more from them, and it just hasn't come. I got no other words for it. They have just been quite disappointed by the Czechs. We'll move on to our second game of the day. What a wild game. Switzerland 4, Bosnia and Herzegovina 1. This game was 0-0 up until the second hydration break. And then after that, it would be Johan Manzanabi for Switzerland scoring the opening goal of this game in the 74th minute. It would be Ruben Vargas in the 84th minute. And then Manzanabi got it back in the 90th minute, making it 3-0. Bosnia and Herzegovina score in the 3rd minute of stoppage time. Ermin Manamek gets the goal, and Granit Xhaka closes out the game in the 7th minute of stoppage time after a conceded penalty. He converts that. Ends 4-1 for Bosnia. Red card in the 80th minute to Tariq Muremovic. He had the most defensive contributions today. Still ends up getting a red card. So both teams felt like they needed this game bad, just given how Group B was playing out, and we'll get into the other game in a minute. But this was the Switzerland team I expected to see against Qatar, and we just didn't see it. They controlled this game, 62% possession, 13 total shots, 35 touches in the opponent's box, compared to Bosnia, had 5 total shots, 8 touches in the opponent's box. Expected goals here, it was 2.06 to 0.23. Again, Switzerland dominated this game, even though that scoreline was 0-0 up until the 74th minute in that second hydration break, which, say what you want about it, not great, but here we are anyways. So for Switzerland, a massive, massive win. Put them top of the table, at least for then, with all the games in match day 1 of this group ending 1-1. Everybody was level. Needed to get 3 points here, one of these teams, just so they could kind of try to get a stranglehold on this group. Switzerland is that team. So they temporarily went first place, and I say temporarily because we move on to the other game in Group B, and that was Canada 6, Qatar 0. Qatar get 2 red cards in this game. Lots of goals, obviously, for Canada, but the biggest story is not even that. It's Ismail Kone, a absolutely awful injury. You don't want to see anybody get injured on the World Cup stage. You especially don't want to see anybody injured like that. That was a gruesome injury to watch. I'm obviously hoping for a quick recovery for him, even though I know it's not going to be a quick recovery because you don't recover that quick from that kind of injury. So that took the wind out of the sails of this game a little bit. But prior to that, it was a really good game from Canada. It's what Canada needed. They get their first ever World Cup victory. They doubled their total goals ever scored at a World Cup. Coming into this game, they'd only scored 3 goals ever in a World Cup. Here we are, and they score 6. Kyle Larin opens up the scoring in the 16th minute. Kind of felt like a weight was released on this Canada team because you knew the pressure was going to be there. And, they weathered the storm. And, 16th minute, Kyle Larin's there, puts it in the back of the net. It would be 13 minutes later, 29th minute, Jonathan David puts it in the back of the net. 2-0 to Canada. 31st minute, there's a penalty on the Qataris, sending Canada to the spot. VAR goes to check it. We overturn it. So the penalty is canceled. 33rd minute is when we get our first red card of the game. Just a dumb, truly, I don't even know what to say, because this came off the VAR call. The yellow card was canceled, turned into a red, but instead of a penalty, they have to do a direct free kick because it happened just outside the box. So, just a absolute mess of a... I don't even know what to call that there. It's a red card, though. Qatar down to 10 men. Canada felt like they had to take advantage there. The ensuing free kick goes over the woodwork. It is what it is. It would be 38th minute. Tejan Buchanan has an opportunity that gets cleared off the line. So it, again, kept feeling like those goals were starting to come for Canada. 3rd minute of stoppage time in the first half. Jonathan David finds the back of the net for a second time, just from basically on the line. Just a kind of good save by the Qatari keeper. Doesn't really save it, though. It falls to Jonathan David, who's there at the back post. Well, not even the back post. He's on the goal line, puts it in the back of the net. It is 3-0 Canada going into the half. Again, that was just a performance Canada needed to put up, it felt like, and they did. That is the exact half Canada needed, and it was just kind of maintain this, help goal differential in the second half. We come out of the second half, and then it is the terrible injury in the 51st minute. It was a yellow card originally. VAR check turns it to red, which should have been a red to begin with. Not to get gruesome here, his leg was literally dangling. It's a red card any day. And like I said, they kind of took the wind out of the sails of this game a little bit. 64th minute, Canada find the back of the net again. It's 4-0. Nathan Saliba scores from outside the box. Just a great shot from about 20 yards out. That felt like it was going to be that's it. 75th minute, it's 5-0. Schavelberg in the box, heads it in, but it's deflected off of Al Milani, and it goes in the back of the net. It's an own goal, 5-0 Canada. And then finally, we close it out. Jonathan David gets his hat trick in the second minute of stoppage time, 6-0 Canada, and that's how this ends. So, like I said, Switzerland went top of the table temporarily. Canada now top of that table going into the final match day. Ahead on goal differential, 6 compared to 3 for Switzerland. And then, of course, these two face off in, I believe, 6 or 5 days' time, something like that, back at BC Place. And that game's going to decide who wins this group, obviously. You couldn't really ask for much more than that. So, given that there was Group B, so if you look at your Group B standings as it runs right now, Canada on top with 4 points and a +6 goal differential. Switzerland +3 points, or +3 goals on 4 points. Bosnia are on 1 point at a -3 goal differential, and Qatar are in 4th on 1 point and a -6 goal differential. Our final game of the day ends in Mexico, so we hit 2 of our hosts today. It ends Mexico 1, South Korea 0. Mexico wins the group. They win Group A. With the way things played out here, this game was going to decide who won the group. By virtue of the 3 points, Mexico has the victory here. A very interesting first half because nobody really dominated possession, I guess I would say. It was kind of just a meh first half. It obviously goes 0-0 into the half. Coming out of the half, Mexico kind of looks rejuvenated here, and that is kind of when they strike here. And, you know, it was a very opportunistic moment. I believe it was Luis Romo, with the goal. Shot inside the box, right around the penalty spot. Just a beautiful volley into the empty net. Not really sure what Kim Seung-jo was doing. He was off his line, and Romo had basically an open net. Puts it in the back, 1-0 to Mexico, and that is how that one would end. So if we take a look at the table in Group A going into the last group stage game, Mexico on top with 6 points +3 goal differential. They have won the group, as I mentioned. In second place is South Korea on 3 points with a 0 goal differential. Third place as of now is Czechia, 1 point, -1 goal differential. And in fourth is South Africa with 1 point and a -2 goal differential. So that is going to wrap it up for World Cup review of Day 8 of this World Cup. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back with World Cup preview Day 9. USA, Australia, Turkey, Paraguay, Scotland, Haiti, Brazil, Morocco, all play tomorrow. I know I messed up that Group C matchups. Scotland, Morocco, Brazil, Haiti. That's going to wrap it up here. We'll preview all those tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across the Nick Bird Sports Network, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching here on the Nick Burt Sports Network.